Hello, my name's Kathy Bissell. Welcome to the Golf Show 2.0. Today we have Adam Rehberg as our guest, and he's with Bridgestone Golf, and they have a new golf ball that sheds moisture and sheds mud and goodness knows what all. Probably sheds beer if you drop something on your golf ball. Adam, why don't you give us the chapter and verse on what this new ball can do?
Well, we're super excited to announce that we're launching a new E12 golf ball that will be called the E12 Splash. And what this golf ball is designed to do is there's a new innovative coating on the outside of the golf ball that wicks off water and moisture and is less susceptible to picking up mud on the golf ball. Over the summer, we saw it with the PGA championship. A lot of the talk was around the mud balls.
Yes.
Scotty Scheffler talking a lot about them. So we're always trying to innovate. It's kind of shows the innovation of Bridgestone Golf. We're always trying to figure out a new way to make the ball better. And inside this E12 product, it was a good way that we could really bring this technology to the market in the E12 series golf ball. So it will be out on 10/10, and it will be available. And for the dew sweepers of the world and the guys that'll play in any conditions, this would be a really good golf ball for them.
That would be
I was just going to say, I've been sweeping the dew lately in Pittsburgh. We've only had a little bit of rain in like 7 weeks, so I can't test the mud ball thing, but moisture is moisture. So I'm playing early morning heavy dew. It's gonna work then too.
Yeah, absolutely. We've gotten it out with some consumers, testing it early in the morning when the dew. We've done a lot of R&D testing. I'll send you guys some great videos of our R&D testing, some kind of slow-mo imagery of dripping on the golf ball. Plus, we have like a cool jugs machine, like in baseball, the spinny where it shoots out the base. It's calibrated for a golf ball, so we can turn it downwards and we can actually spin the ball at a rate that it would come in from a normal shot and kind of fire that ball into a specific spot. And you could see this golf ball coating picking up less mud to no mud as it impacts the ground and bounces up. So it's a really cool technology, and we're kind of excited about it.
I have a question about the dimple pattern. I was kind of looking at it, and it looks like it's a hexagon on the outside, and then there's a circle on the inside. What does that do?
Oh, that's a great question. So that is our contact force dimple pattern that is also featured on the E12 straight golf ball, the golf ball that doesn't have this special coating on it. But what it's designed to do is have less slippage on the club. So as we know, the more impact that your club and balls have together, the more reducing spin power that you have and the more control you have on the ball. When you hit a wedge shot, a glancing blow isn't going to be very well, and as well the driver. When your driver face is open and the ball starts sliding around, you don't really have that great control. You could feel it when you hit it, like, oh, I kind of lost that when I could feel it sliding. So what the contact force dimple does is it adds more contact time with the face and the club. And the E12 series, quite frankly, is built to be a little more forgiving than even a tour ball, a urethane ball that adds more spin. This ball is actually built with a low compression design that with that dimple pattern to reduce spin off the driver for a straighter shot.
So you get the E12 straight ball. How long has that been out?
The E12 straight ball launched the beginning of this year. It was the inside of our line. We have the E12 high launch, the E12 straight, and the E12 speed. And as you might imagine, those are kind of three launch packages. Of speed is a little bit lower launch. The E12 straight's a mid-flight ball, and then high launch has a high launch dimple pattern on it, to kind of matches up. So we're kind of building the E12 on trajectory based on what the consumer needs inside of that distance performance category.
Well, I like the fact that the names you've given them, they're all E12, but they got the description goes with them, because as a consumer, you walk into a store and
golf ball.
Every brand has 4 or 5 models, and honestly, it's overwhelming. You can't tell them apart. The name here says it all. Where did the splash idea even come from? I mean, you've already got the E12 straight. Who even had the idea for we need one more for wet conditions? That's really interesting.
Yeah, so Yeah, what's amazing about the E12 Splash is it didn't evolve from like a marketing idea, which some of the time the marketing team kind of ladders up to R&D and says, "Hey, man, it'd be really good if the ball could do this." But Splash kind of came the other way when the R&D team kind of sent us some samples of this golf ball with this new coating. We wasn't really sure what it was, and then they kind of sent us the deck. And we get prototype balls from Japan R&D, and right now I'm in our U.S. R&D facility, and they do a lot of the testing. So we do a lot of the testing here, but then our prototyping lab is in Japan. So they sent us these balls, and we were kind of shocked. So, like I said, sometimes marketing requests ladder up to R&D, but the R&D team are out there, and they're trying to find new ways, new materials, new manufacturing processes that make the ball better. But then in this case, how do we find a ball that better performs in all conditions and, is a much better ball, especially in rain and mud conditions. So just an R&D innovation that was kind of brought to our attention, and we really liked it. And we got it out fairly quickly. That's why it's kind of launching here in October, rather than waiting to the beginning of the year. We want to have it out in kind of fall when it starts to get a little cooler and maybe a little rainier, so golfers can really take advantage of this new golf ball.
Lands in the leaves, and there you are, wet leaves, your golf ball's in them. It's kind of an ookie lie.
Yep.
Well, no, that's quickly solved with the foot, Kathy. I don't think you understand how people play golf.
The foot wedge.
You hit that foot wedge, it just picks up more dew as the ball rolls. So
yeah, in all golf, rules are suspended. You improve your lie. Conditions are, these are things you have to do. Adam, in your experience, how hard is it to get the attention of the consumers if the word 10 yards longer is included in a ball description? Because, it's like hitting a donkey in the head with a plank to get its attention. People are so used to where all they're looking for is distance, and they don't really know what they need is accuracy. But what's been your experience with, trying to get through to people on this?
Yeah, I mean, as a golf ball fitting company first, as an innovative and rubber polymer science company, it's very hard to equate benefits with features to amateurs and how you get from A to B. This feature allows this benefit because of exactly what you said. When we do surveys through GPAU, it's the same thing. Number one always is distance. Give me a little bit more yards. And then we kind of ladder down to straighter, accuracy, spin, yada, yada. So it is a challenge, and that's why we have this breadth of golf balls inside of our line. But educating the consumer is kind of one of our goals versus other companies. Just, you talked about going into a golf ball store, and there's a big shelf, and it's everything. Yeah. And some companies don't really want you to know all the specifications about it. They just want you to buy it, and this is the ball. This is the number one ball. Buy this ball. But we want to educate consumers on, a person could use more spin, so they play the XS model. They want less spin, so maybe move to an E12 straight model that takes away a lot of spin. Need to hit it higher. So those things, like you said, the descriptor on the outside of the ball are super important from a Bridgestone perspective. Kind of have those monikers, whether it's telling them their swing speed or telling them this ball is a higher flight golf ball or a lower flight golf ball, a ball that does better in wet and rainy conditions, because the contact time, the straightness of the golf ball is super important. Yes, distance is important, but a lot of time you get to distance by those other things that you mentioned. More accuracy. The quickest way to get from point A to point B is a straight line, not a big cut that goes from point A to point B. So, those are the things that we try to educate consumers and work with them. We feel like we're, an innovative first brand to talk about things of that nature, features and benefits, versus golf balls and tour players and name and stuff like that. I mean, those things are still important. Performance on the highest level by tour players is still much, much needed. But just conveying those benefits is super important for us.
It seems like some other companies, the only difference in their 7 models of ball, I almost feel like they just divided them up by price points, not performance. Am I wrong about that?
Oh.
Yeah, there's definitely kind of
I'm wrong.
levels to the build. There's definitely levels to the build as far as manufacturing, but yeah, a lot of times it's, we don't price categorize how we build them. We price categorize how the ball's actually built based on materials and everything that comes out of the golf ball. So that's the kind of the way we build it versus just cutting it up versus price.
And this one has what I call like a hairy eyeball thing kind of on it. It's
mindset.
Reminds me of old cartoons with like giant eyeballs on the character. And it's part of that series you've got going to try and help you concentrate.
So mindset has done very well for us over the last year and a half. It was kind of developed by a tour player, Jason Day, and we worked with him on the design of it. And we found that when golfers have better intentionality, mindset kind of keeps them logged into that. So it started out with our Tour B series and Jason Day using it. Now we've got Kurt Kitayama, who won last year, Chris Gotterup, who had a great year last year as well, Boo Weekley. A lot of these guys have adapted mindset because, when a tour player plays, they're out there playing for their paycheck, right? And they're going through these processes. And right now, Jason said, pretty much everybody on tour has a process they use. Now, when you get to the everyday guy who gets out there once a week, when they have a 40-hour, 50-hour job a week, a lot of times our minds kind of wander all over the place. I always use this example. Like for me, I like to play well, but even when I'm playing well, I get to like 12 or 13 and my mind starts to wander and I start thinking about what I'm doing afterwards or fantasy football or something like that. And then you blow one OB and you just go, man, I didn't even really like lock in over that shot.
Yeah.
So when we started developing mindset, we started to see that guys would give feedback after rounds and say, hey, it was a really good reminder on the ball, a mental cue as I get over my drive to kind of lock in and do the things I need to do to hit every shot. Because as you know, one little bad swing in golf and you're looking at double bogey just from one bad swing.
Easily.
And so it's hard to come back from those things. But mindset has done very well. And then we've passed that down to even E12. And E12 is a series designed for a slightly higher handicap, a guy who's not, wanting to use a tour level ball with a bunch of spin. They're looking for a little bit more forgiveness. But we found with players that shoot above 90, mindset actually help them more and help them kind of, dial in and get into a right state to hit their best golf shot.
See, it's a hairy eyeball.
It is.
It's looking at you.
Couples calls it too, hairy eyeball.
Does he? Oh, that's funny.
He doesn't say the hairy part, but he calls it an eyeball.
You were talking about focus, but frankly, I was watching Dukes of Hazzard on my phone when you said that. So I lost the train of thought. No, you mentioned the marketing guys. Bridgestone has done a lot of original stuff in marketing too. You had the Paps balls in tribute to the Team USA for the Ryder Cup. At the PGA Championship, you had it was like a chicken hawk logo of some kind for the PGA. You've got am I right? The Boo Balls are making a return this month. Can you explain what those are? And I think they weren't really they weren't really made for Boo Weekley. It's just a Halloween thing. But talk about the Boo Balls, which are also coming out.
The Boo Ball has been very exciting. Last year, we launched a very, very small quantity of it just as a fun thing with Boo Weekley. And it's really a Boo with two little drippy O's. So it's a
Halloween theme,
with our B mark. So it's a little clever take on that. But this year, we're relaunching it in a larger distribution. And with the RX golf ball, which is our more popular golf ball, we launched it last year with the XS and we sold out, but we did a lot more this year. And we just launched it Tuesday of this week, and it's done massively well. I mean, we're selling a lot of these golf balls because of that unique thing. And Boo Weekley is a hoot.
It's the scariest time of the year, especially if your name is Boo.
Where is my ball at? Ooh. What was that? Freddy? Tiger? I'm out of here. I'm finna just take a drop.
Another 3-footer. All right, Boo, let's concentrate right here. Come on. Let's get it right here. All right, here we go.
He's kind of he's from my neck of the woods down in the Panhandle, Florida. That's where I'm originally from. And we have a little video with him. I'll share that with you guys as well. I have a little great video of him kind of doing a, what I say, Ernest Scared Stupid sort of vibe for a video. That's a movie I grew up watching a lot of Ernest movies, and I loved him. So did Boo, and he thought it was hilarious. And the Boo Ball's been really fun. And then on top of what you said, like the other drops that we had this year, it's amazing here. I have a great boss that lets us do like fun and creative things. Like for the PGA Championship, we launched a fake Quells minor league team kind of vibe and had baseball cards.
That came with trading cards. That's right.
Exactly. So it was fun to do that, and we can kind of do some off the wall thinking. You know, being a smaller brand.
You're right here. I had them in my drawer.
Well,
I'm a huge baseball fan.
Like things like that. It's just something different. You're going to buy golf balls anyway. You're going to go out to the course, and one guy's going to say to another, "Hey, I got me some of them Boo balls." You know,
yes, exactly. I'm a huge baseball fan. You know, growing up as a kid in the '90s with Griffey and McGuire and all those Barry Bonds in the early 2000s, and so I love baseball personally. So that was a fun project to work on, and
so does Gary.
It was good.
My only suggestion for the Boo Ball was I wish it had a one more graphic, like a scary, a zombie scarecrow or a pumpkin face, or maybe you take the big circle on the Mindset technology and make that a
pumpkin face,
a mean jack-o'-lantern, just to add to the Halloween thing. But
it's an orange.
Yeah, I quickly lost a dozen of those last year, and I'm sure some people have found those, thought they were pretty cool.
Yeah. The same thing happened last year because we had such a limited amount. I had people asking for them, and I'm like, they're literally all gone. I don't have any more. So, yeah, we did a little more this year. They're very cool. That's a good idea. Maybe next year the B mark is orange and
or maybe just on the patching on the box you have some kind of scary jack-o'-lantern. It doesn't have to be on the ball, but I think that, nobody else does that. Nobody else does seasonal special edition really with just graphic. It's a great way to, even if you get a temporary sponsor like a Pabst.
The Pabst one was
name any beer company, guys are going to buy a ball if there's a beer company logo on it. Right. So mark everybody down for that.
Yeah, the Pabst was on. Those sold out very quickly. You know, that re-up with those was great, and they were gone. The putter cover turned out amazing. I love that putter cover. I don't, not a huge beer drinker. I like Pabst, but like that, I love that putter cover. It went on my putter immediately.
You could even do it with defunct beer makers, which probably wouldn't involve much in the way of licensing, like Falstaff or Carling Black Label or
exactly.
Old St. Pauli Girl. I don't know. There's a lot of beloved beers that guys remember, and we're way off target here. But I'm helping you with marketing ideas.
That's perfect. The B can stand for beer.
Oh, there you go.
That, Kathy?
Do they still make Hams beer?
No, I don't think so. The Hams beer would be another great logo on a box, and I don't know who would own the rights to that still.
I don't know either.
You can still buy some T-shirts. Somebody makes them, so somebody can get the rights, but that would be a cheap buy, I would think.
We should just buy the company and get a 12-pack of balls and a 12-pack of beer with every purchase.
That's right.
Well, the drink can sell balloons.
I have a question about the golf balls.
Okay.
I noticed it seemed to me the size of the dimples was large-ish. And I remember years ago at the PGA show, everybody was trying to pack more and more and more and more dimples onto their golf ball. And there was one person that showed up with a 512 dimple ball. And the only thing they could say about it was great for putting. And I thought, well, I bet it is. not going to be knocked offline or anything, but there has to be a reason for the number and arrangement of the dimples. So I'd like to hear about that, strange as it seems.
Yeah, there's definitely different reasons to have dimple patterns. There's a lot of things that affect the aerodynamics of the golf ball, like actual size, like you're saying, like 500 versus 320 on a ball. And then there's depth of how deep it gets, that affects it. And as you, like with us, we have a dual dimple pattern, and it really acts like two levels of dimples. So like at impact, when airflow is at its fastest, it gets down into that deeper dimple, and the airflow gets all the way down. And what that does is it allows the ball to have higher lift. Now, when the ball's on its descent and it starts slowing down, airflow is not as fast. So airflow kind of flows over top of it. So then it acts like a shallow dimple and remains shallow and flat on flight. So, just think of it like if you were in a tunnel with a car, you see those smoke ones when they have the tunnels with a car. When your car's going really fast, the airflow gets down in those crevices versus really slow. So it really does matter, the dimple pattern on a golf ball. And a lot of companies they kind of slap dimple patterns on all of them and have like a standard one they use throughout, and they buy the cavities. But we have unique dimple patterns for just about every golf ball that we make. The X and XS has a pattern that works well for over 105 swing speeds. The RX and RXS has a different type of dual dimple pattern that works better for the under 105 that create less spin of the other under 105s. And then same thing when you look at our E series. You talked about the E12 straight and the E12 splash that had a different dimple pattern. So really matching them up with each different demographic is what makes the ball perform, not only just off the tee, but what it's doing through the air to optimize glide and aerodynamics.
I'm assuming the E12 splash and the E12 straight, are they USGA conforming?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think you'd send the ball out that wasn't.
They won't let us make a non-conforming golf ball. We've asked. Quite frankly, we've asked about non-conforming faster balls. That was kind of a thing in the 90s with the Callaway driver, the ERC, and all that went on. And there's always been talks about making balls, but our R&D, the way we run our company from a mission statement standpoint, we're going to follow the rules and make balls that are on the conforming list.
Are these balls going to still be conforming after the big great rollback? I shouldn't have asked that, apparently.
Oh, so there's that's a ball out there. The new short distance rule is something that is shaky. So I can't answer. I'm in R&D, and somebody may tackle me. I can't tell you which ones that would or would not, but I know that inside of the rules right now, ours conform. But according to that new rules, we would definitely have to make a change on.
Oh, I think everybody. I don't think anybody's got. I'm sure everybody's got the ball ready to, in the works when they need it. But as you said or intimated, support for this seems a little shaky, and even the PGA of America opposes it. So it's a little unclear whether they're going to really be able to push this through or not.
It's going to be something. As an innovation company, we kind of look forward to the challenge of being the best ball when the new rule comes out. We feel like we have a team. We don't special order a ball from Korea or Taiwan. We actually make our balls. So if it comes to fighting it out to make a new ball inside this new rule, we're very confident that we're going to make the best ball inside that rule. But there's still a lot going on. 28 would be pros changing, and then 2030 would be amateurs. So we got a little bit before amateurs, but not a lot of time before the pro thing happens. It's 2026 next year. So we're getting fairly close to the professional game. Making the change.
What is going to hit the fan pretty soon.
This summer is going to be a big summer, because typically when you make golf balls, it's that 18 to 20 months out you start prototyping. So that's coming up very soon. So
Are you going to have 2 production lines? One normal and another one encased? Or are you just going to go to the new thing, you can't just go to a new thing assuming it's going to happen if everybody's fighting it.
There's a lot of ways. There's more than one way to skin a cat to make this golf ball be shorter. So there's ways to do it. We've talked to the USGA for sure. We're cooperating with them. We're a good resource to the USGA. They're very close with Bridgestone Golf, and especially Bridgestone Golf Japan. The R&D team there does a lot for the USGA. So there's ways, and if we have to make them, there'll be a line in our factory that makes them differently. Then there'll be 2 years where amateurs will still use the normal ball from 28 to 30, and then in 30, we all in it together.
You break the mold.
Adam? What's the suggested retail price for the E12 Splash? And besides being in stores, if people are somewhere they can't find them in stores, where can they go online and get them?
Oh yeah, so E12 Splash is going to fall into our E12 category at $34.99. It'll be on our website, bridgestonegolf.com, but it's in all major retailers. Shops that support Bridgestone will have E12. So there should be some pretty good distribution of the ball here in this October 10th launch that's coming.
I'm torn between playing the Boo Ball and the E12 Splash, so I may have to mix it up.
Yeah, well, if it's wet, you play the E12 Splash, and if it's dry, you play the Boo Ball.
Yeah, my game is scary, so I probably should go with the Boo Ball.
If you're playing around Halloween, then you got to put the Boo Ball in play out there.
That's it. Thanks for being with us today, and glad it's been a while since you've been on with us. Thanks for coming back.
Yes, absolutely, and hey, we have some more stuff coming at the end of this year that I want to come back and talk to you about. Another special project with a golf ball that we're super excited about. So maybe we should schedule up another one of these things coming up soon.
Yeah, well, to that we'll say yay, not boo, as in Boo Ball. Thanks, Adam.